Hello guys, how are you doing? Let me trust you're doing good. We are back again with today's tutorials. Today, I'd like us to discuss about what's called the board view. In our case, we are going to discuss about the laptop board view files. We have other board view files for the phones. Yes, we have for the phones and for any other electronic device. But today, we're going to talk about the board view of a laptop. First of all, before we proceed, we need to understand what is this actually. I know you've come across the board few files and you don't understand what is it, so it is good for us we start with the introduction part of it. We need to understand what is a board view file, what is it used for, and how can it be studied or how can it be understood. A board view file is the physical map or a layout of the motherboard. Yes, this is just a file which shows a physical map of a motherboard in the same shape, with the same components, in the same locations. Yes, this is just a physical map or a physical layout of the motherboard. It shows the positions or the coordinates of each of the component in the motherboard. It shows exact position of a certain component in a motherboard. Normally, it works hand in hand with the schematics. I don't know whether you know anything to do with the schematics, but the two schematic diagrams and the board view files, they both work hand in hand because the board view can show you the location of a certain component, while the schematic can show you the relationship between that component and any other component, the measurement of that component, and the behavior of that component or the function of that component. So it includes the components names. Yes, this board view files also shows you the name of a component, whether it is a resistor, which in our case, sometimes you find that it is labeled R, capacitor, which is labeled C. So each component in the board file, you find that it has been labeled, if it is R20, R200, R50, C250, C550. Then we have Q for the MOSFETs, U for the IC, L for inductor, etc. It also shows the pin numbers. Yes. When you have a certain component, it will show you how many pins does that component have. So we are going to see that battery file in a few. And then we've already said this schematics works together with the battery files. When the schematics tells what is connected, the board view tells where it is physically located within the motherboard. So for us to read the board view files, we need to understand the softwares because you can't just open it in with any maybe any software. There are some special softwares which are used to read these board view files. For example, we have a software called what? So let me just show you some of the softwares which are available, which are used to read the board view files. This software they are called board viewers. Yes, they are called board viewers. We have several of them. Number one, we have what's called the board viewer. After the board viewer, we have what's called the open board view. This is also another software, open board view. Apart from that, we also have what's called Allegro. We have FlexiBifi, and then there are some which are very common, but others are what? Others are rarely used, but they also do work. Yes, the most common ones which are used is this one, the board viewer, and then you have the open board view, and then you have the Allegro, and even this one called the FlexiBifi 5 is also good board viewer software. So let us open some of these. I think I have a few. So let's start with this one which I have. This is the board viewer. This board viewer, this is a software actually which is used to study motherboard, the board view of a certain motherboard. So let me just put the software in the middle so that you can see clearly. As you can see, some of the recent files which I just studied with are these ones. If you click this one, okay, maybe you want to upload a new file, you just have to click here and then to open. It will take you to the folders where you can get your board viewer files. If you can see most of these ones, some of them are the files, some of them are not. For example, yes, I have another one here. This is about your file. You just have to click there, then open. Now, when you open, you can see it shows you exact shape and size of the motherboard. This exact motherboard we are looking for. Let me put just this exact file, this exact motherboard we are looking for. Yes, as you can see, it is having what? As you can see, we have this one. This is the file. You can. This is how you navigate through it. You can zoom in. If you want to see exact component, let's say we have a component here which we don't see clearly. Let's say this one. When we click that way, it will show you here what is that. It will show the name of that component which you clicked. Let's say this one. When you click a component, you can see the name here changes. BR124. So that means that is a power resistor 124. Now, this component, when you just click this one, this is the MOSFET BQ19. Then we have to zoom in because we want to see exactly which is that component and the location and position of that. As you can see, the MOSFET is here. So this MOSFET, from this side, you can see it has to how many pins. Because we said the Boardview files can also show you the pin out configurations and the pin out functions. So we have 4 pins here. When you click this pin, all this yellow part, you can see the yellow places, the yellow dots. So that is the connection. So it means this pin is connected to this, connected to that, connected to here, connected there. All these yellow points are connected by that. Again, as you can see the net, yeah, it shows, it is saying that is the ground. So when you click, it will tell you what is that. Again, as you can see from here, this is like a menu for that, for this MOSFET. So this is like a menu for this MOSFET. As you can see, it has how many pins? 8 of them. 1, 2, 3, up to 8. Now, when you click this one, the first one which I clicked here, that one is pin number 1, as you can see, and the pin number 1 is the ground. So it means that connector, that pin is the ground. Pin number 2 is this one. As you can see, when I select pin number 2, it's also pin number 2. Pin number 3, it also picks number 3. And then the last one, when I pick this one, you see, the only connection for this is here. This is a PU4. This is a power IC number 4. So that pin connects directly here. That pin connects directly here. And then the name of that pin is LG9. This is the gate. So this is the gate. What about these other pins? Where do they connect? When you click it, you see it connects all of these sides. And then, and that is switch 9L. It also connect there. Then it also connect this. Which component is this? When you click that component, it shows you that is PR124. So that is the power resistor 124. The same side of this MOSFET also connects to these ones. So let us zoom in to fit. And then, as you can see, we are now seeing this side, the top side of the motherboard. Yes, because they have other components here. These are the RAMs, if I am not wrong. So those are the RAMs. Let us zoom it in. So these are the RAM chips. These are the RAM chips. These are the RAM chips. Now, each and every RAMs, you can see we have U22, U21, U20, U19. So all of them are the chips. They are called NANds. Let's see the bottom. Here you can select which side you want to check in the motherboard. You can select either you want to see the top side or the bottom side. So the bottom side, and then we zoom out to fit. You can see that behind the motherboard, it doesn't have so much components. However, it has some few components. So these few components, let us zoom in and then check what are these ones. For example, this one is a connector. Let us see. Yeah, there's also an IC. There's also an IC there. Which IC is that? So we need to zoom in. This IC is U1C. And then the same IC, as you can see, when you zoom in clearly, when you zoom in, you can see now you will be able to see the pins independently. When you zoom out, let us zoom it out. Can you see when you zoom out, it doesn't have the namings? Yes, and it is not, you can see it's a bit too far. You can't see clearly. So it is better when you zoom in. Now you will be able to see this is pin number 1. And the pin number 1 connects here. It connects to this capacitor. It connects to pin number 1 in this capacitor. What about the pin number 2 in the capacitor? The pin number 2 in the capacitor also connects to this side. And this one's the ground. You can see the net saying what? Those are the ground pins. What about this other pin which connects to pin number 1? Pin number 1 for this, it's called what? Let's see the name of that. It is PLTRST. That is a signal line. Those are the signal lines. What about the pin number 2? Pin number 2, that is its name. This is clock regulation. Okay, that is pin number 2. Pin number 3, TXP2. So these are some of the signals which this IC does. So let us pick another pin. For example, this one. You want to know which pin is this. So this pin is pin number 21, SDD2RC. And then you will be able to see that pin also connect here. You know, this Boardview file is important when you want to find out, let's say this IC was corroded, and then we have some missing tracks here. When you have some missing tracks and you're not able to find exactly the route or that track was connecting to where. So it is always good to use the Boardview files because you'll be able to select a certain pin, for example, this one. So when you select this pin number 21, maybe this is the pin which is missing from the IC, you will be able to see it was supposed to connect this component, which is the R34C. So you'll be able to see this pin should connect to this resistor. So you can loop a wire all the way from this pin directly here. You can also connect it to here. Even though you might not know what is this dot cause or what does it do, but you know it should connect there. You know, so that is why that is one of the importance of the Boardview files. You will be able to see this pin number 14 was supposed to connect to pin number 10, was supposed to connect to this pin number 1 with this capacitor, because this is a capacitor. You see, when you bring your cursor near to that, you will be able to see the popping up details about that component there. I hope you can see on my screen C318C, then two of the pin, so that should be pin number 1, and then the net, that is RTS 5237 AF12C. So it means it is doing some signaling. Then here you have also the same pin number 14 also should connect to this capacitor, the pin number 2 of this capacitor, and should also connect to pin number 2 of this other capacitor. Are you seeing how it is interesting? Yes, once you understand about the Boardview file, it is very easy for you to repair any motherboard, especially those motherboards which you've never come across before, because it will be easier for you to understand that motherboard because you will know this component was supposed to connect to this line, and with the help of schematics, you will be able to know the measurements of each and every component. Yes, because the schematic also helps us to see the schematic also helps us to see the measurements of each and every component. So I want us to check another thing. As you can see, this is you can also do what? You can also rotate your what? You can also rotate your file in whichever manner you like to. If you want to rotate it 90 degrees clockwise, you can see another 90 degrees. So we have now gone to the 180. If you want to go back anti-clockwise, you can also go back anti-clockwise. Then what else? You can also select what you want to be visible. Is it the board outlines? If you want to be visible, pins, test nails, these are the test points, spheres, labels, auxiliary elements. I want us to see another connector. Also, you can use it to check the connector. For example, we have a connector here. So this is the connector. I believe this is the connector for the keyboard. As you can see, let us zoom in so that you can see clearly. So this is the connector for the keyboard. Let us zoom in more. So this connector of the keyboard, you see when you bring your cursor near to that, you will be able to see from here, that is pin number 1, number 2, number 3, you can see clearly. And this pin, I believe it should connect to this. What is this? I believe this is the capacitor. So let's see where does this pin connect. When you click this way, you'll see it's telling you it connects here. Let us zoom out a little bit so that you can see where else does it connect. As you can see, that pin, the pin number one of the connector of the keyboard connects to this capacitor, and then it also connects to this IC, pin number 87. Then I know you might not be able to see. You see, let us zoom in that IC so that you can see those pins which I'm saying. You see, this IC, I believe this is one of the keyboard controllers. You can see the pin number one should connect to this, and this IC uses the BGS, the ball grid arrays. Let me zoom out a little bit so that you can go back against this connector for the keyboard. Let's see pin number two. Where does pin number two connect? Pin number two connects to this, and also it also connects to pin number 65 in this IC. So can you see now? I believe we have a relationship now between this connector and this IC. Let's see pin number three. Pin number three also here and there. Pin number four here and there, and pin 95. Now, some other board viewers softwares. When you click that pin, let's say we click pin number. Let's say we click pin number what? This pin. I don't know which number is that. So let's say we have this pin. Let's say which pin? This one. When you click this pin, so it will show direct lines all the way from this pin. This is pin number 28. You can see that pin number 28, the nets which it will have +3 voltage. You can see now this Boardview file also can show you the measurements, which pin should have what. So when you click this pin in some other Boardview software, it will show you direct line. So by now we will have had a line running from here direct to here, another line here. So we'll have so many lines, all of them originating from here, going to all these yellow dots, which tells you this pin should connect there, should connect there, should connect there, and those lines might not be direct. You know, this connection is not directing. You might find that there is a circuit, you might find that there is a track which goes run this way, it pans, it goes opposite this way, it went this way, this way, all the way until it reaches here. And you know, the motherboard is in form of layers. You might find several layers. So sometimes you find that this line is running in the middle, at the layer which is at the middle. And then sometimes you have a fear, maybe this is a fear which come up outwards or go behind the motherboard, and the same line runs all the way, and then it pop up from this side. Same case applies to this one. Now, I believe we are done with the connector for the keyboard. As you can see, this pin also connects here, and it connects through this via, and it connects also through to this IC, to pin number 97. Now we are done with this motherboard for the Spectra. I believe this is Spectra. You can see the file name. So this file is the schematic, is the Boardview file for HP Spectra X360 13. For let's zoom it out. Let us try another file. Let us see. We have another file. So you'll just come here for the file, and then you do what? You open. Then you have to select. You have to select which file do you want to study. So let's say we want to see this one, Winston Camellia. When you click that way, we open. When you open, here is the motherboard file. We fit it. Let's zoom it out. Can you see? We might not be able to see exact the outline of the motherboard. So I wish we had a motherboard which is visible enough to all of us. I know you might not understand that clearly. Let us see this one for 840, 840 G what? Let me look for 840 G5 or G6. I know I might not fail to get one of those. 840 G5 or G6. I can't get one. HP Lightbook 830 G5. No, that is not the Boardview file. That is the BIOS. 840 G8. Let us see this one. Let us see 840. No, 840 G8 is the same as this Camellia 830. So let's see 450 G6. 450 G6. So let me zoom out a little bit. So that is the motherboard. That's the layout of the motherboard. This layout of the motherboard, when you zoom in, let's zoom in this IC. When you zoom in, you will be able to assess this to see an IC clearly. You'll be able to see that IC clearly. This IC, as you can see, it contains so many pins. Here, pin number 1 to pin number 12. So each and every pin is this number. So from pin number 1, you can see the pin number 1 connects to where? It connects to this, and then to where? It only connects to that. What about pin number 2? Pin number 2 connects nowhere. Pin number 3 connects to this. You see this yellow part, it shows you that it connects there. And again, we have a net, the function of that pin. Pin number 3, that is its work. You can see the pin number 2. Pin number 2, this one. When you click it, it doesn't have anything. So it means that is NC pin. NC pin means not connecting. It doesn't connect to anywhere. It doesn't connect to anywhere. Now let's see the bottom. The bottom side, you can see the other side contains what? It contains the CPU. This is the CPU, U400. That is the CPU. And then after the CPU, it also contains the RAM slots. Yes, it also contains the RAM slots. With that RAM slot, let us zoom in so that you can see clearly. Let's say these are RAM slot. As you can see, this RAM slot, it contains some pins all the way from this pin. So this is 260. So I believe the pin number 1 should be at this side. Yes, this is pin number 1, and that pin number, that is not even pin number 1, that is pin number 2. So, and where is the pin number 1? Here's the pin number 1. So, I believe the pins for this connector is alternating. Yes, because we have two lines in the connector. We have two lines. So, pin number 1 is here, and that pin number 1, you pin told that is the ground. That's why when you click that pin, it will show you all the grounds in that RAM slot. As you can see, all these yellow dots. All these yellow dots, those are the ground. Pin number 2 is also the ground. Then pin number 3. Pin number 3, if this is pin number 2, so pin number 3 should be where? That is pin number 4. So pin number 3 should be here. So that is pin number 3. Pin number 4 here. Pin number 5 here. Pin number 6. Pin number 7. You can see the pins alternating from one line to the other. Pin number 7, that is its name, MBDQ6. I don't know what does that mean. In short, I am trying to show you how the schematic works. You can see also that same pin number 7 is also connecting to this solder ball, this pin within the CPU, below the CPU. So that tells you the RAM is directly connected to the CPU. Even if I have one single line which goes into the CPU from a certain component. For now, we've seen this pin number 7. It has a connection with the CPU because this is a CPU. And then that CPU also have what? It contains a dot which shows that that pin number 7 is connecting directly there. Even the other one, even the keyboard also normally have a connection with the CPU. When you zoom out the CPU, you can see the CPU is also, the solder balls within the CPU have names. They are labeled. As you can see, that pin which is connecting to pin number 7 is labeled what? It is labeled pin AR36. That is AR36. We have AT35, AU35, AV34, AW34. So all those solder balls below the CPU, they have names, and those names are defined here. When you zoom in the pin, as you can see, when you click this one, it shows you all the connection for that. So it tells you this BW14 connects to this pin, connect to that bolt. These are the solder bolts. These are not the pins. They are solder bolts below the CPU. And what does those lines have? It has a positive 1.05 voltage, deep suspend. So this is a deep suspense voltage. This is the voltage below the CPU. What about this? This one is independent. That is the PCH. We learn reset. That is for network. That is for networking, and it is also a solder ball below the CPU. Let's also guess this one. This one BP9, and then it doesn't connect to anywhere. What about CN7? CN7 is the LED 3S SATA. So that is the LED for the SATA. SATA is what? So this is the SSD. That's the storage device. The same pin also connects to this resistor. So in case you have this resistor getting blown up, let's say this resistor get blown up, it will affect directly the CPU because you can see there's a connection. That is why whenever a component below around the CPU got shorted or got blown up, normally you will have that short being extended to the CPU. This one, this one is the ground. What about the other side, which is not the ground? You can see even the other side is also connecting directly to the CPU. Yes, that is why it is always dangerous to have a component next to the CPU getting blown up. You can see all of these components in one way or the other are directly connected to the CPU. Directly connected to the CPU. What about this MOSFET? These are MOSFET which is the 6 pins. So let's see pin number one whether it's connecting the CPU. Pin number one is the ground. Of course, it must connect the CPU because the CPU has the ground. Pin number two. Pin number two is the power good. The power good, because as you can see here, it's labeled power good. I want to zoom out so that you can see whether it is having a relationship with the CPU. So that pin is not having the relationship with the CPU. What about the pin number three? Pin number three, it has no relation with the CPU, but it has a relation with these resistors. And these resistors might be having and these resistors have a connection with the CPU. So it means this MOSFET is indirectly connected to the CPU through this resistor. As you can see now, all these components around the CPU, in one way or the other, they are direct or directly connected to the CPU. That's why when they get shorted, that shorts normally get extended to the CPU. About this pin, that is the ground. What about here? This one connects to this and it connects to this. Okay. And this one connects where? And this one connects to the CPU. You see? Yes. There's nothing you can do. This is 3 point this plus 3 voltage deep suspense. I hope you can see how this schematics works. And it is very good actually. Once you understand how to use these schematics, you'll be able to fix any motherboard even if you've never dealt with that motherboard before. Because now you'll be able to understand each and every component connects to where and the location of a certain component. As you can see, the CPU, it shows you exact location of the CPU. And then it shows also exact location of this MOSFET. Did you see this MOSFET which we just discussed here? This MOSFET 402, Q402. That is its location. So even if I search in the motherboard, even if I have my motherboard, I'll go to that position. I'll find that component. I'll find that component. Another reason why this Boardview file is so important is that as a technician, you will be able to identify any missing component. Sometimes you receive a motherboard which is a blown a component which has been knocked out or a missing component in a motherboard. So with the board view file, you'll be able to identify exact location of each and every component, and you'll be able to see a certain component was here. Apart from that, you will also be able to know which component was that and what was the measurements of that component. Here is an IC. Let's see, this IC is what's doing. Pin number 9 connecting to nowhere. Pin number 10 connecting to nowhere. As you can see here, you have pin number 9 and 10. It doesn't connect to anywhere, so they are not a must to be there. Now let us see this pin. So this is pin number 1. That is PCH SPI. Pin number 2. Pin number 2. PCH SPI also. Pin number 3. PCH SPI IO2. Pin number 4. That is the ground. As you can see, the grounds pop up so many times because the grounds is almost everywhere. Then what about this pin? Let me zoom out so that we will be able to pick a specific pin. Then that is the last pin. Then pin number 7, pin number 8. So that is it. This is the connector. I believe this is the connector for the Wi-Fi guard. Those are the pins. You'll be able to see the pins. Each and every one of those. This is the pin number 33. So I believe pin number 1 should be somewhere here. So that is pin number 74. What about here? That is pin number 2. So pin number 1 should be here. So here we have pin number 1, which is the ground. Number 2, number 3, same case with the connector for the RAMs. It also alternates. So my guys, let me hope at least you understood something out of the discussion for today. As we said during the introduction, the board view, not schematic but the board view, we said the board view files represent an actual map. This is an actual motherboard in form of a software or a skeleton. This, yeah, we can call it a skeleton. So this is a skeleton of a motherboard. It shows the exact layout of the components, the location of the components, the positions, the pinout configurations, and what those pins also does. Now, we need to understand what technicians should actually understand about this board view. I know you should not be, let's say, it's not a must that you understand each and everything about the board view file. However, there are so important things which you need to know. First of all, you need to know how to navigate the Boardview softwares. Yes, you have to understand how to use these Boardview softwares. Be it the Boardviewer, be it the Open Boardview, or be it the Flex Beefy, whichever the software you normally use, you need to know how to use them. Yes, because without you knowing how to use those software, I don't think you'll be able to read this, because this one you cannot open on a photos or a VLC. Yeah, you cannot open this file with any or Word. This one cannot open in the Word. Yes, you cannot open this in the Word. Or can we try? Can we try to open this in the Word? Let me show. Let me show you. Okay, I've never done it, but let us do the experiment. So let me just scroll down a little bit. We find one of these board view files. Where are those? The problem I have so many. I have files for the BIOS. I have files for the board views. I'm not able to see exactly which one is the board view, which one is the schematic, and which one is what. I like us to select one of the board view files and then these are the BIOS files. Okay, let's choose this one. Let me hope this is the board view file you're looking for. It's probably this one of them. So I want us to open it with the Word. Let us open it with the Word and then see and let's see what we gonna read actually. It can't even select. You can see it doesn't even select what you want to open it. Here it's asking for me to do what? It's asking for me to edit. Okay, let us see. You see? What the hell is this? Tell me. What are these? Are you able to interpret this? Can you? You can't. I believe you can see these things. Even me myself, I don't know. Imagine now this is the Boardview file. Imagine this is the Boardview file. Okay, let's just close it and then focus on what you are doing. Now, another thing you need to understand is how to search the components by reference designator. Yes. Sometimes, as you can see, this component is labeled U400. Once you want to locate a certain component, for example, let's say you've seen a component from the main motherboard, and that component, let's say it is labeled what? Let's say it is labeled PU100, for example. How do you get that component without actually looking physical? You might not know. Let's say even you have an IC which is labeled U5800, for example. So you'll just come here and then you type U5800. You can see it pops up there. Then you need to select. Then it will pinpoint direct that component is here. Then you zoom in. As you can see, that is the exact component you are looking for. U500, U5800. That's the exact component you wanted to check. Let's say you have a component you want to check also. Let's say you need BQ8007 or 8008. I don't know. So let's say you need PQ800002, for example. In fact, you can see it start popping up of those numbers. So let's select 8001. 8001. So you have that one. When you click, then this exact component you're looking for, it pops up there. And then you'll be able to see that component connects where and what is that component and the location of that component. You see? So you should be able to select that. So you will go into your motherboard, locate a component which you want to study, which you want to know, because using the board view, you will not be in a position to check each and every component. So you'll be going directly to a specific component which you're interested in. So meaning you should be able to know which component is that. Then you will just come here, click that, you search for that number which you see the motherboard, then click OK. Then you will be able to go direct to that component. Now, once you get that component, you should be able also to know how to study it, how to check it in the schematic, because you will have to understand that component connects with which component, and the measurement of that component which connect there is how much. So the schematic will help you to fix that. So that's why we say you should be able to trace the nets between the pins. Yes. As I already mentioned, you zoom in, you click a component, then you see that component connects to where and where. So you should be able to trace that connection. Once you have that connection, it will be easier for you, because as you can see, let's assume with this one. So this IC U5800, let's assume this pin here, pin number 25, it got corroded. Let's say this chip got corroded and then, or even got blown up. It got blown up, and the track which will connect this pin to this component got blown up. Now you've replaced a brand new IC, but the IC which you just replaced, of course, it has pin number 25. But there's no track which should connect that pin number 25 to the other lines which is where it is needed. So you should be able to loop a wire running from that pin number 25, and then you can see it should connect here to pin number 1 of this resistor, and then also it should connect here to pin number 2 of this capacitor. That is how this board view file can help you to fix those problems. Again, you should be able to know how to use it for faster diagnosis and the component replacements. It will be easier for you once you know how to use it to diagnose and then to replace the components. Now, let me off after this long discussion, you get to understand about the board view files. In our next discussion, we are going to talk about the schematics, diagrams. Then we are going to also to summarize how you can use part of the schematics and the board view files to diagnose the motherboard and to fix the motherboard. Thank you so much, guys. I really appreciate your patience, and let me hope you understood something. Let me hope you get to understand something, and I will really, really, really appreciate, guys. Please, in case you haven't subscribed and you're watching this video, please, guys, I am asking you, please subscribe to our channel, share with your friends, give us some comments, and we really appreciate. We are happy when we see our channel growing. We also do teach. In case you're interested in learning about laptop repairs, you can also contact me so that we can discuss the way forward, how we can have you as one of our students. Thank you so much, guys, and see you in the next video. Goodbye.